taken to 3 companies. One was Super Subs, obviously. One was Wagon Wheel, and one was
Java.
lots of Java. Super Subs is the only business that responded to our request for putting it out to bid. If there was another company or restaurant or service that was able to do that, we would welcome that as well, because there might be a time that I've got to provide meals to well over 250 people. If the fire's in our community and we have outside resources coming from outside, I got to feed them too. So I guess to answer your question, it doesn't have to be exclusive to Super Subs if there was somebody else that had an interest to do it too. As far as the price was set, it was agreed upon between City of Oroville, police, myself and the fire department to get the level of calories that's needed in order to replenish what they've lost on the fire line. So there is a formula. This is not the first time this has been done. We used to have a contract with Lots of Java. The last time we did this was with Lots of Java. This time they didn't respond to the request.
Mr. Vice Mayor, if I could just add, the reason why it's exclusive with the restaurant is because these events occur 24 hours a day. We could be calling as early as 1 in the morning and need contact information and an agreed upon price for these types of meals. These are not typically for just our firefighters that we have on the line. This is when we are exercising our mutual aid agreements and we have large scale events where we have large numbers of people that are here. We are required through our master mutual aid agreement that we will provide food for the individuals that are here. We did at one point have 2 contracts, one with Hofbrau Restaurant and one with Lots of Java. The Hofbrau has since went out of business. Lots of Java closed their facility on Table Mountain and moved into a smaller facility and now cannot handle, they don't have the necessary space to create these amount of meals. So we would be interested in having another agreement with another company. Over the 10 years that I was in that position, I think I used this one time. Because of a large scale fire we had up by the dam where we brought in, it was actually in our area in the Lemon Hill area where we brought in a lot of firefighters. So it is seldomly used. It's just a tool that we need in the event that we have to feed a large amount of people.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Mr. Mayor, I did get a card from Mr. Terry regarding this. Would you like to add anything, Steve?
Only if it's needed. Only if it's from personal standpoint.
Mr. Vice Mayor, did I answer your questions?
Yeah. Are there any other speakers?
I do not have any blue cards on this item.
Looking for a motion to adopt item number 4 on the consent calendar.
I move that we adopt resolution number 8807.
I'll second.
I guess my last question before I place my vote is there a sunset clause to this contract? Is it a 1-year contract or what?
No, typically this is a no-cost contract unless we utilize it. So it goes until, we would probably want to check with them every year, maybe every 2 years to ensure that their number is still good because we don't want to get into a situation where we lean on one of our merchants, ask for 100 meals and they find out that their cost is $17 per meal and we're only allowed to charge 15. So we would check with them and verify that the price is good. But no, we don't typically put a sunset on these types of contracts because we seldomly utilize them.
But we could change it if something came up, right?
Sure, oh, absolutely.
Are there any other questions?
No.
Motion on the table. Looking for a vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Hatley. Councilmember Pittman.
Yeah. Yes.
Vice Mayor Thompson.
Yeah.
Councilmember Goodson.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Draper.
Yes.
Mayor Reynolds.
Yes. Okay, item number 6.
Mr. Mayor, I would just like to move that to the back of the agenda after item number 13.
Sorry. Item number 7 from the consent calendar was also pulled. Is there a speaker on this item?
Mayor Reynolds, I have one speaker, Tasha Levinson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to talk about this one because I saw the name Corporation Yard, which made me think of the land swap that had for the grading on the Corporation Yard for the piece of property, that there was supposed to be worker housing with a deal with, I think it was North Valley Corporation for the Paradise Workers Housing. I'd love to know what the updated status on that is, if we're doing something more with the Corporation Yard. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, this is not related to that. This is insulation for the mechanics shop.
Existing buildings.
Yes, and I'll talk with you, Tasha, and let you know where we're at on that when we're done.
Are there any other speakers on this item?
I do not have any other blue cards, Mr. Mayor.
Are there any questions from the council? Looking for a motion to adopt item number 7 from the consent calendar.
I move that we adopt agenda item 7, authorizing the staff to contract with Pacific Trail Installation for the installation of R-30 installation in the mechanic shop in an amount not to exceed $24,302.
A second.
Councilmember Hatley. Yes. Councilmember Pittman.
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson. Councilmember Goodson.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Draper.
Yes.
Mayor Reynolds.
Yes. And then you say you want to save item number 6 to the end of the meeting?
Yes, sir, to go after number 13.
Okay. Thank you.
Out of curiosity, how long was that building uninsulated that the mechanic was working in there?
It's been there for, I'm going to say well over 20 years that I'm aware of.
He's dancing right now, wherever he is.
He is. I mean, that is, it's unfortunate we let it go this long.
I can't imagine working on cars in this heat.
1979, that building was built.
Yeah, so that's,
Fif-
what, 41 years?
Yeah. And it's been as hot as that ever since then.
And our lead mechanic down there, he's probably been working in it all 41 years.
Yeah.
So he's been here that long.
He's earned it.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to regular business. Item number 12, request for a designation of voting delegate and alternates for League of California Cities Annual Conference.
Mr. Mayor, this is just a continuation of the item from our last meeting requesting voting delegates and alternates be sent to the League of Cities for the annual conference in Long Beach. Nothing has changed on this. The council asked for some additional time for consideration of this. The only thing that I can add to the council that I'm aware of that has changed is that this is not coming back to Sacramento next year. It's going to be in Long Beach again. It'll be there this year, next year, and then it may potentially come back to Sacramento the year after that. So it's an opportunity for training, for networking, and for also the city to enter into the legislative process of voting on what we believe are our things or issues that we would like the league to advocate for. So what this is you can send up to 3 people. Of those 3 people, one would be designated as your voting delegate. That person would be voting on the advocacy that the League of Cities would be undertaking on our behalf in all cities. So what we're looking for today is direction. Do you want to send 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, or what is the council's pleasure?
Well, that would be up to council how many people we want to send. But I would like to see, I understand that some council members have already been to this training, and I would like to see new council members receive this training. So actually looking for discussion of volunteers on this council.
It's my understanding, and I had the opportunity to go last year, that every conference year, there are different subjects, different, the events are current in regards to what is happening in our state at in this particular conference year. So the topics and subjects and discussions are fluid and they are based on what is currently happening in our cities, our rural and urban communities. So what I'm saying is the training is variable.
I'm going to speak up as well, and I agree with that. And I also would like if Eric, if you can go, Eric. I agree with the mayor in regards to newer council members in this regard, because nobody knows how the vote's going to go November next year. I know of my time, I got a year and a half left, and so those who are new and haven't gone, I think, should have priority. So, Eric, if you could go, I would. He'd be my top priority of what I would like to, who I would like to see represent me on the council.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to do that if that's the will of the council. So.
I would agree with the vice mayor on that issue. The League of Cities is an organization the city's been a long-term membership with. And in fact, at one time we had a council member that was the president of the League of Cities. So we have a long history with the league. I've attended many times. I have to admit, the agenda that I looked at did really excite me as far as my purposes. But if a council member that has some purposes to go, I support that, because we've been a long membership of the league, and the league is about our only way to make some kind of difference in Sacramento. So I'd support it, but I just don't have the time, or I don't see anything on the agenda that works toward my agenda, so.
Keeping costs in mind, I think that we should limit it to one council member, and I would also support Councilmember Smith. So we're looking for a motion on, and if there's no more questions or discussion.
Question, but can I vote on that?
You can vote on it. I would, the only thing that I would add to the council is that this is, sometimes when you go to these things, it's easier to participate and do these things when you come with someone you're familiar with and someone you know. I would encourage you to send to this. I don't know who that would be. I know I've attended a lot of these things, and sometimes when you're there by yourself, it's just a little more difficult. But that's totally up to the council.
How does that fit into the budget?
It fits into the budget. We have $4,000 in that account right now. Each one, the total cost is about $1,400, so we'd be at about $2,800 of the $4,000 we have in training for the council.
Great. I'd like to go with you.
Mayor, can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. And I spoke to our city administrator earlier today about this item. And historically, and you can check back as long as I've been on this council, I have voted not to go to these. And I stay true to that's just me. And so that's why it has absolutely nothing to do with anybody that's going. Trust me, it doesn't, because I voted no forever on this. So I just want you to know why my vote is no has absolutely nothing at all to do with the people that are going, okay?
Looking for a motion to adopt, if there's no further discussion. Looking for a motion to adopt item number 12 on regular business.
Make a motion that we send both Mayor Reynolds and Councilmember Smith to this League of Cities.
Mr. Mayor, if I could we specify who is going to be the voting delegate?
I would nominate Councilmember Smith.
That needs to be part of your motion, because we
With
need.
Eric Smith as the voting delegate for our council.
I'll second that. Looking for a vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Hatley,
No?
Councilmember Pittman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Thompson,
Yes.
Councilmember Gibson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Draper, Mayor Reynolds.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, can we go into recess until 6 PM when we have a time-specific hearing? Here, let's do the reports first. That's a good idea, Tom.
Moving on to reports and discussions. Tom, you have something to say?
Just a couple informational items. The city's eligible for what's called Senate Bill 2 funding, which is for planning of infrastructure and development, future development. The whole idea is the state's behind in housing. This is intended to help. So we will be back to you either this month or in September with some ideas as to how to use those funds to advance potential development and infrastructure in the community, just informational. I'm probably stealing Leo's thunder, but we met with multiple developers who are looking at activating older subdivisions. And Leo, I'm sorry if I'm stepping on your toes here. And then we also met with potential new developer of the Gateway Project, and I think they'll be submitting a proposal to the city within the next 3 or 4 months with more defined performance standards than the last. That's all I have.
Thank you. Leo, we better let you go next before you get your whole thunder peeled.
No, Tom alluded to it there, but we're very encouraged by the amount of action we're having on interest, and then we're able to help direct them to projects that we kind of have been shelved in the past, which have a really short path through the approval process compared to starting with raw land. So we're positioned very well to help facilitate the process. Additionally, with regard to the projects and stuff we're weighing out is also rezoning some opportunity areas in town to be able to encourage some projects that will appeal to workforce and some of the lower income areas as well. So I think there's some good opportunity out there, and we're positioned well for that. So.
One other one that I think would be of interest is a 36-acre parcel above the fish hatchery is one that's being looked at, and we've had several fires there. Development of that property, actually with a variety of housing types, is being discussed.
Thank you.
So could we say we're, in terms of scale, 100, 200 plus new homes?
Oh, over that, well, yeah, I mean, we have 2 of them that are both over 70 lots apiece that are, one of them, good example, Vista Del Oro, he's just finishing due diligence, and we've given him nothing but good news the whole way along as far as the questions he had, so
Good.
they're rolling right along. There's 72 lots left on that one alone, so yeah, it's quite large, and the 30 acre parcel, I mean, that's quite a few, because they're talking about multifamily up there as well, so it's rolling on pretty well.
Good.
I'd like to comment too, Leo. I've received several phone calls personally from business owners who are just absolutely pleased with your performance and the way you conduct yourself, your knowledge and professionalism. It's really nice to get those calls, and I just want to thank you for just being doing the exceptional job that you do. It really is encouraging. Thank you.
We appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? Ruth?
I want to let the council know that I signed up for the 2019 CalPERS Educational Forum. This year it is in Oakland in October, and the deadline for early bird was July 31st, so I signed up July 31st at 5 p.m. Just saved us $50. Anyway, I'll be going to that in October. It's not on a council meeting night or anything, so it won't conflict. I already emailed that.
Thank you. Chief?
I've got nothing to report. We hope to see each one of you that is available to come to National Night Out when we're done and meet some of our new employees.
Thank you. Mr. Huber?
No, sir.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, just a couple things. I got skipped, but that's okay. I still feel good about myself. I just wanted to announce to the council and to the community that after several years, Gary Lehman will be leaving us on the 15th. I want to thank Gary for his work and for his service to the city. And Gary's been a guy that's been involved in the community. He did a good job for us while he was here, and he is moving on to do other things. And I wish him nothing but happiness and success. As everybody is aware, tonight is National Night Out. I'd like to invite everybody to National Night Out. Since Tom can give away Leo's stuff, I figure I can do Joe's. So everybody is invited to that. It'll be at the Municipal Auditorium. And the Municipal Auditorium, if everyone isn't aware, it was on Saturday morning at about 2 a.m. An unknown person lit a fire up there in the access area that goes underneath of the municipal auditorium. There was considerable damage that was done to the structure of the municipal auditorium. It isn't so considerable that it's unsafe. It's just the repair is going to be considerable. Right now, that repair is being estimated at probably $100,000 to $200,000 worth of damage to the building. There are several floor joists that need to be replaced. There's an electrical panel that needs to be replaced. The inside has an odor of smoke to it because it was full of smoke. There's just considerable damage up there. The curtains are most likely ruined. All of that's being done. What we've been able to get done so far to this point is we did get the doorway boarded back up. The electrical panel that was burnt has been disconnected and isolated, so power was restored to the building. The facility is going to be used tonight. We're going to keep everybody off the back of the stage and keep them forward onto the stage. There's no concern of any immediate danger to anybody. It's just a precaution because we don't know yet. We'll have an engineer in later this week. Our insurance company is doing that on Thursday, I believe, to look at the building to tell us exactly what we need to do to repair it. And we are working to get that facility back in a working order as soon as possible. City does have insurance for stuff like this. Our deductible is $5,000, so the first $5,000 is going to come out of our pocket. I want to thank Wade and his crew for Saturday morning. They showed up. They were there. They got everything taken care of. They worked with the people to get the doorway boarded back up and to secure the facility and to restore the power. So our crews did a very good job that day. Everybody's been very responsive. Our fire department did a good job suppressing the fire. If it had gone much further, we may have lost the building. So I want to thank all of them for doing that and just update everybody on where we're at with this. We're working to get this building back in a safe and usable condition as soon as possible.
I'd like to comment on that. Are you done?
I am finished.
Okay. There's an absolutely exceptional response by several people in this room that showed up early Saturday morning to respond to this call and assess it. And I just want to thank everyone on this team that were there. It was just absolutely great representation for the city, and things were handled expeditiously, and it was nice to see everyone there. So sorry to see that building damaged. I worked there when I was a kid, but I'm sure it'll be back up and running.
Mr. Mayor, I have one quick announcement as well.
Yes.
The Parks Commission does have an opening that we are looking to fill. I've had announcements out for a couple weeks and I have not received any applications yet. So if you know anyone, please send them down to fill out an application and turn it in so that we can fill that vacancy. We also have a vacancy on the Housing Loan Advisory Committee, and we're 2 vacancies on the Southside Oroville Community Center, one for a South Oroville member and one for a community organization member. And so I have several openings on committees. For those in the audience and council members, please have people get applications in. The deadline is August 23rd.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to talk to you on that auditorium for a moment. I think the public needs to know that we were within 5 minutes of losing the entire building, where that fire occurred and the conditions that were present for it. Had it not been for somebody making a phone call at the right time, it would not be there standing today. So I don't know who made that call. I don't know who made that observation. But the old story about see something, say something is whoever did that saved that building. So thanks to whoever did that notification. And everybody in the city did a great job. Thank you.
Is there any, anything that anyone wishes to put on future agenda?
You going to have us report as well? Anything from us? We're going to do that.
Sure. Go ahead, Councilmember Smith.
Okay. And just real quick, I attended the ORAC meeting, which is all things related to DWR and recreation. And the meeting went on for several hours, so there's lots of information. If you're interested in that information, Oroville News Live videotaped that. You can look at that. But I think one item that's of particular interest to the public, and that is the opening of the Dam Crest Road so that you can go across the dam. I think everyone is well aware now, you can walk across it from 5 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. And originally it was scheduled for August 2nd to be open to vehicular traffic 3 days a week, 5 o'clock, Friday, starting at 5 a.m. through 11 p.m. on Sunday night. That was delayed by CHP for undisclosed reasons, but it looks like in the next week or so, just keep your ears tuned, those of you that are interested, because as you know, once that opens, you'll be able to launch your boat on the far side of the dam, and it's a beautiful area over there. So just in the next several days, we should be seeing that public announcement being made as to when you can travel across the dam and utilize that. Just a couple of points to point out for those of you that are going to do that. That road will close at 11 o'clock nightly, so you need to be out. Otherwise, you will virtually be locked in. And this is another significant interest, and that is because you're subject to inspection, both entering and leaving that area. And CHP is tasked with that inspection. So you actually go through 2 kiosks. So Friday, 5 in the morning, you're going to take your boat out on the lake using that dam launch ramp. Your boat and vehicle will be subject to CHP inspection. And then you have to go over to the state parks kiosk and pay your launch fee. Then when you exit and leave, you're again subject to an additional inspection by CHP to exit that area. So I think that's just something y'all have to bear in mind. So there may be some extra time needed, both entering that area and leaving once it's open to the public. So that's it. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't see you sitting there. Did you have any reports?
There you go. Oh.
All right. This year's paving project is scheduled to go out to bid here at the end of this month. I have the final plans on my desk. I saw an email today, so we're moving forward with that. It's about estimated about 1.3 million worth of pavement repair we're planning to do on 6 different streets. So we're a little behind where we wanted to be this year in terms of getting it out, but we think there's adequate time to get the work done before the rains come again. So multiple streets, some of the projects continuing on from where we finished up last year. So just want to let you know where that's at. It should be coming out soon.
Thank you. Are there any other council members that wish to speak?
I have 2 items I'd like to mention real quick.
Member Pittman?
Thank you. One of them is I attended is it called Downtown Business Association now? They're a little different name. I attended that meeting for an issue that was brought up by another group, and we'll see how they want to deal with it in the future. But I have to say that I was encouraged by the interest of all the business owners and a very large group. It was not the typical 5 or 6 members. It was, I want to say maybe 15 or 20, and they're all very much involved with the new BID downtown. I think they're headed on a very strong positive path, and it was encouraging to see and listen to them all have the discussion. The other item I wanted to raise is at the scoreboard the other night, we gave a very well-deserved recognition to Ernie Reynolds Sr., and he got a very nice presentation, and I thought it was very appropriate for his 41 years service to the score agency, and I thought that was very nice. and a well-deserved recognition. And Ernie was there, and he got a chuckle out of all of us doing the thing there, so it was a lot of fun. And Chuck got the honor of making the presentation to his dad, and it was very nice. Nice recognition, and a lot of things happening with SCORE, and we'll see some new improvements coming down the line. We'll be able to report on those soon, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. That was nice to be there. And just a little bit more information on that. My dad is 90 years old, and he has served on these boards since the 70s. And not his 70s, but the 70s. And he said that he was going to resign from SCORE because he just didn't, suffering from a broken hip last year, a kidney removed, and then a broken back this year. He said he just didn't think that he could contribute the quality that they deserved. So that's a level of integrity that we're dealing with, and I was just honored to be a part of that. Thank you, Dave. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Well, with that, we're going to recess till 6 p.m.
We have time for agenda items, don't we? We have a time for every agenda item, so